So hello everybody. Um, this is one that I've been, well, it's been going on in my mind for a little while, and I haven't got round to sort of broaching it. For the simple fact that where it sort of goes and what it sort of entails, it brings that one word that can cause chaos in the Fallout world. Canon. Now, where I'm going to go with this is I want you at the end of listening to it, if you have thoughts on what I say, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, whatever it is that you think, if you want to, I want you to comment it. I want you to turn around and say to me no or yes, but I want your reasoning for it. I don't want you to turn around and say, oh well, yeah, maybe, but you know, blah 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 blah. So what part of canon we're actually talking about? Well, what I actually want to talk about is Fallout itself, the Fallout universe, the evolving Fallout universe, the evolving of the computer game and everything else. And can we still at the end of a Fallout game state, oh, this is canon, this is how this game ended? There's where we're going with this. Okay, now when I first started gaming, which was many years ago, and I mean many years ago, which I'm sure a few of you are probably like, yeah right, but I'm serious, people. I mean, my first mobile phone was a Nokia Brick, as they were called. First time I ever gamed was actually on a PC, and it was two little lines at either side of the screen and a square ball. It was not a round ball, it was a square ball, and you had to try and stop it from flying off the screen. That was the first game I ever played, I swear. Okay, and that was like a really long time ago, and now I make myself feel very old by actually admitting that to you. I had a PlayStation 1 before the vibrating controller came out. I remember the day whenever I first experienced the PlayStation vibrating controller. My fiance had at that time had actually not told me he had actually gone out and bought the vibrating controller, and I was playing, I believe it was Resident Evil Raccoon City. Can't quite remember, but I believe that's the one that I was actually playing. And I was walking along in a corridor anyway, and there was one of the monsters. If you've ever seen the Resident Evil films or played the games, there's like this big massive monster that has the tongue, the snake tongue. One of them was on the ceiling, and it was the tongue started dropping down, the controller started vibrating. I freaked out, and I mean majorly freaked out, screamed and sent the controller flying across the room. My then fiance was standing at the other side of our gaming room in hysterics of laughter. It's actually something I would have done on somebody else. He thought it was the funniest thing he had ever seen in his life. You know, I've seen gaming grow from, I mean, I know at one point in time everybody looked at gamers and thought of gamers as people that sat in their mother's basements or sat in somebody's basement. But gamers, it's always been sort of like a stereotypical attitude towards anybody that was involved in gaming. gaming is no longer looked at the same way because of consoles and because of games like Fallout or Call of Duty or all the others, Battlefield, the whole heap. It's opened up a whole brand new world. Fallout first hit consoles. Now I'm not sure. I believe it was Brotherhood of Steel Tactics 2. I believe it was that. Not honestly sure. It was a very little known about game to the console world, and I never actually owned it. I did own a PlayStation 2. I owned a PlayStation 1. I have a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4 at the moment. But you know, never owned that Fallout. Now, those games have from Bethesda's taken over been deemed as non-canon. Bethesda has changed a lot of what is canon and what isn't canon to go with the evolution basically of the game and the evolution of gaming. In Fallout 3 there was really only one proper ending, which was the Brotherhood. Yep, I know there were people that took the modified FEV given to them by the Enclave, put it into the Purifier and killed everybody. I'm well aware of that one. But when Fallout New Vegas dropped down, it offered us, I suppose, 6 different endings technically when you think about it. You had the hardline versions of everything. So you probably could have got a lot more endings actually out of it when you think about it that way. And then you had the allied versions of everything. So what I seen recently was someone actually had wrote something and stated that they believed that this was going to be the canon ending for New Vegas. Now, with the evolution of Fallout and all the different endings and the amount of people now playing the game and choosing to end the game in different ways, they were also stating that they were like, well, I believe this is going to be the canon ending for New Vegas and this will be the canon ending for Fallout 4. What I'm asking is, can we actually have a canon ending anymore? Is it possible? With so many different options on the endings and with so many different people playing the game, is it possible to have a single canon ending? I mean, technically, the best ending for Fallout 4, in my eyes, doesn't exist. Okay, the best ending for me in Fallout 4 would actually have been one of the endings that actually was sort of got rid of, and that was basically you making it still a Sentinel but doing everything with the Minutemen, or the ultimate peace deal that wasn't officially in the game but was actually part of the game. Would have been perfect for Fallout 4. You know, keeping everybody friendly, keeping those 3 major factions about. Unfortunately, Fallout 4 has been written to be a very kill or be killed game. You know, there's a lot of moral grey areas. There's a lot of hardline attitudes. In a lot of sort of parts and a lot of things within the game. There's, of course, you have the Railroad supporters. You do have people who support the Institute. You do have people who support the Minutemen. And of course you have people who support the Brotherhood. The only thing is, and it says because we don't have that peace deal that could have been done officially and properly, we now have a very split fan base around these factions, and that split fan base sort of started to appear a lot more in Fallout. It started to appear in New Vegas, and then really took off in Fallout 4. In New Vegas, you had the people that did Independent, you had the people that went with Housemen, you had, House, you had the people who supported the NCR hardline, or the Legion hardline, or the people who did the friendly ending, you know. And you did actually see a lot of sort of people splitting into factions. I know a lot of people who are still pretty hardline NCR. Me personally, as I admitted in one of the videos that I've done earlier, I have done the friendly ending, but I have actually also done the Legion ending. You know, and nowadays you'll probably find I'm more than likely would actually lean more towards the Legion than anything else. And that's just my own personal thing. And I know a lot of people will not be happy with that one, but you know, hey, it is me. But then along came, what was that? Along came Fallout 4, and those divisions really started to appear with people. Personally, I have actually experienced getting a lot of rather nasty things said to me by supporters of other factions. I am a Brotherhood person. Most people know that. I've been Brotherhood for as long as I can think. You know, it's just part of me. And I have been called some pretty nasty things. I literally let it run off my back like a duck to water, basically. You know, you gotta learn to not take everything personally. It's sort of my attitude nowadays. So, you know, but those divisions have really started to appear because of all these different endings. So I don't know whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing that we have these different endings, but what I'm sort of wondering is, can we anymore state this is a canon ending or this isn't? You know, what do you think? That's my honest question to you. What do you think? Do you think we can still have something written in the Fallout Bible of canon ending that basically turns right and says, this is how Fallout New Vegas ended, this is how Fallout 4 ended? Or do you think now, because the game has evolved across so many platforms and just so many people, that it's almost impossible to hit down on a canon ending now? So, as I say, drop a comment down, give me your thoughts on it, and let me know. I am going to go off and see if I can possibly find a way to fix the roof on this place and try not to delete that big giant thing behind me. So, I shall catch you later, peeps.